Good morning, here we are out on the beautiful Lane Cove River. I'm going to do a little bit of a test today on the Epropulsion Spirit 1.0, 1.0 Plus. I had a bit of a play around with the motor last night, getting the trim and stuff like that, looking at that, and I think I've got it just about right. I'm happy to change it should I need to, but I think I've got that just about right now. So let's I've got my phone, and I'm going to be using that with using the water speed app to judge speed, whether that's any good or not. You can be your own judge of that, but it's about as accurate as I've got at the moment. So let's get that a go. I'm not sure whether that's come out clearly, but yes, you can see I've been playing around last night. I've got about 60% of battery, and conditions here are fairly still. Very light ripple on the water. The only annoyance out here at the moment is the rowers, of course, which are everywhere, but let's give it a go. So here's my speed app. And away we go. I'm up this end of the river to try and stay away from too much boating. It's only the only boating we're going to encounter is really the rowers and the very annoying people who yell at them all day. So here we are. We are doing, we have got 160 watts, and we're showing 3 knots. So that's about just under 20%. You can hear that it's very, very quiet. And my boat is a 2.5 meter Quintrex tinny. It is on paper about 40 kilos. I have no weight in it apart from me. I'm about 100 kilos. A little bit more, but we'll keep that to ourselves. So it's a fairly, it's a slightly V-hulled, it's kind of a cross between a punt and a V-hull. It's called the Eclipse hull from Quintrex, if you're familiar with it. It's not bad. It's not as dynamic through the water as a full V-hull, but it certainly is better than a blow-up boat, an inflatable. So currently doing about 3 knots, 160 watts of power. Let's pick the revs up a little bit. So there we are, we're at 250, so that's about a quarter, around 250. Showing 2 hours and 34 minutes, and our speed has picked up, according to this, to about 3.2 knots. Again, very, very quiet. Let's pick the revs up now to a bit more. So we're now around 400, and you can see that the bow has lifted. Speed's 3.7, 3.6. We are just under halfway at 400 watts. Let's pick it up to 500. We are at 500, so we're at half there. Showing on the current battery an hour and 22 minutes. See the wake out the back of the boat. And we are showing not a lot of speed increase, about 3.7, 3.8. Let's go a little bit quicker. Now about 3/4. Bow is well and truly lifted. See that our battery is diminished quite some. About 51 minutes. And our speed really hasn't increased that much. We're right about 4 knots away. We're right on the verge of getting this boat up on the plane, and it just is not quite, so it's still kind of pushing through the water a fair bit. Let's take it all the way up to maximum. Let's see what happens there. Bow's lifting. Battery down to about 40 minutes. Let's have a look at the speed. About 4.2 maximum there. So we're steady at showing up to maximum now about 4.4. About 4. Let's call it quits at 4.5 knots. And that's probably going to top us out. So how does this compare with performance-wise with the water snake venom 44-pound thrust? That's a buzzer telling me that I'm down to 50% power. Sorry, 50% battery to go. How does it compare? Well, it is a very, very different beast. If you are used to using a transom-mounted trolling motor, you're going to find this very, very different. This feels a lot more like an outboard. And when I was playing around last night, about 15 knots of breeze and lots of chop, what I found was I was able to maintain speed. So power is what it's all about, not top-end speed. This was able to maintain power. It didn't seem to matter what the wind was doing or how big the chop was. It pretty much kept the speed all the way through that. A couple of little measures I did to and froms. I did a couple of to and froms. My boat is a little way from a public baths, like the sea baths, and with the trolling motor on flat out. So with the water snake on flat out, it would take me 11 minutes to get from the boat to the baths. This took 5 minutes, and I did that 4 times, there and back. So into and with the wind, and it didn't seem to matter. It was a matter of max 5 minutes and 5 seconds, as a matter of fact. How did my testing compare with the figures claimed by Epropulsion? Well, based on the results from the test you've just seen, I would say the figures are a bit hopeful. But the following day, I found the sweet spot for this boat and the Epropulsion motor. I mentioned earlier in the video that the motor wasn't quite powerful enough to make the boat plane. So seeing the planing wasn't possible, I tried a different tack. What I found was that by moving my weight forward in the boat and flattening the boat out, my speeds increased dramatically. When sitting in the front seat of the boat, the Epropulsion at full throttle was able to push the boat to a constant 5.6 knots.
I was able to exceed the speed figures quoted, and the run times were virtually identical as those listed. Look, I've seen some great tests of this motor on YouTube and also some pretty ridiculous ones. If you are looking to replace your 15 horsepower outboard on your 16-foot boat, don't be surprised when it struggles. But if you're looking to replace your 3 horsepower motor on your tender, this is a great alternative and will really impress you. Use the motor for its intended purpose and it will serve you well. Thanks again for watching the channel, and I'll see you soon.